Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The NFL world is buzzing with excitement, disbelief, and a touch of envy as the Washington Commanders officially committed a jaw-dropping $800 million to secure Terry McLaurin through 2030. From the moment whispers of the deal first surfaced, fans and analysts alike were in a frenzy, questioning if any other team could match such a staggering investment. The story began quietly, with subtle hints of long-term negotiations behind closed doors, but now, with the numbers on the table, it's impossible to ignore. Terry McLaurin, a player who has steadily built a reputation as one of the most electrifying wide receivers in the league, is suddenly at the center of a financial and strategic storm. People are dissecting every aspect of his performance, every highlight reel, every clutch catch, trying to understand how the Commanders justified such a monumental commitment. Some insiders suggest that the front office saw McLaurin as the cornerstone of the franchise, a player around whom they can construct their offensive identity for the next decade. Others argue that the salary figure, astronomical by any measure, reflects a desperate attempt to keep a star from testing free agency, a bold statement about Washington's ambitions. The numbers alone are eye-watering. Yet the real story is in the implications, the ripple effects across the league, and how rivals are now recalculating their priorities. As this deal goes public, it sparks questions about team strategy, league economics, and what it really means to invest in one player so heavily, turning the NFL into a stage for both awe and scrutiny. Sources close to the negotiations hint at an intricate web of discussions, legal reviews, and financial maneuvers that allowed the Commanders to structure the deal in a way that balances cap flexibility with long-term security. Reports indicate that McLaurin's contract includes performance incentives, signing bonuses, and clever clauses designed to protect both the player and the team from unforeseen downturns, making it as much a masterpiece of financial engineering as a statement of intent. The market for elite wide receivers has exploded in recent years, yet this particular deal seems to redefine expectations, setting a new benchmark for what franchises are willing to pay to retain proven talent. Analysts are quick to point out that while $800 million is astronomical, the value McLaurin brings in terms of fan engagement, ticket sales, and potential playoff success could make it a calculated risk worth taking. Social media has erupted with memes, fan theories, and heated debates, reflecting both admiration and disbelief. The Commanders' strategy is clear. They intend to build a team around McLaurin, signaling to other free agents and competitors that Washington is serious about becoming a perennial contender. Behind the scenes, league insiders suggest that rival teams are now scrambling to secure their own stars, fearing that Washington's aggressive approach could trigger a ripple effect in the player market. Commentators speculate about how this deal might influence draft strategies, salary cap planning, and the broader balance of power across the NFL, as franchises reassess what it takes to compete at the highest level. In essence, the Terry McLaurin megadeal is more than a contract. It's a narrative shift, a statement that resonates far beyond the confines of FedEx Field, capturing the imagination and scrutiny of fans, media, and players alike. The timing of the announcement, strategically before critical playoff discussions and the off-season free agency frenzy, suggests the Commanders wanted to make a bold statement that reverberates throughout the league. Observers note that Terry McLaurin, at the height of his career, now has both security and an immense spotlight, which adds pressure as much as prestige. Analysts speculate on how head coach Ron Rivera will structure the offense around McLaurin's talents, noting that his speed, route running, and ability to win contested catches can redefine the team's playbook. Insider rumors suggest that conversations about the deal began months ago, with careful deliberation over contract length, performance metrics, and long-term team objectives. The $800 million figure itself is not just a number. It's a signal to the rest of the NFL that the Commanders are prepared to invest in marquee talent to achieve sustained success. Some skeptics question whether such a massive financial commitment could backfire if injuries or performance dips occur, but fans remain optimistic, cheering the signing as a bold leap toward a brighter future. In locker rooms and media circles, McLaurin's deal dominates discussions, influencing perceptions of player value and the economics of elite performance. The narrative unfolding is part sports business, part high-stakes chess game, as Washington positions itself as both a destination for stars and a potential disruptor of the established hierarchy. Every analyst, journalist, and fan commentator is trying to dissect what this means, not just for the Commanders, but for the league at large, turning Terry McLaurin's contract into a story of ambition, strategy, and spectacle that transcends the typical off-season chatter. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. Whispers inside the NFL suggest that McLaurin's leverage in negotiations was substantial, backed by consistent on-field performance and a reputation for professionalism that makes him a franchise linchpin. Executives from other teams reportedly monitored the talks closely, calculating how they could counter or react in future negotiations with their own top-tier players. The Commanders' front office appears to have balanced patience with urgency, waiting for the right moment to finalize terms while fending off potential interest from rival franchises. Financial experts note that structuring a deal of this magnitude requires sophisticated planning to align cap hits, bonuses, and guarantees in a way that maintains both short-term competitiveness and long-term flexibility. Beyond the numbers, the narrative is about culture, identity, and ambition. McLaurin embodies traits the Commanders value: resilience, skill, and star power, which aligns with a broader vision of building a team that can dominate both on the field and in the minds of fans. The deal also sends a subtle signal to younger players that performance and dedication can yield unprecedented rewards, inspiring both teammates and aspiring athletes nationwide. Media outlets have jumped on every angle, speculating about how this contract may influence future NFL norms, particularly in the realm of wide receiver valuations. Rumors circulate that McLaurin's agent leveraged interest from other teams to push negotiations further, creating a dynamic that has both industry watchers and fans on edge, generating storylines that will dominate sports conversations for months. At its core, this megadeal reflects a convergence of talent, timing, and strategic vision, making it one of the most talked-about transactions in modern NFL history. Insiders close to the Commanders' organization hint at a meticulous approach to the negotiation process, with multiple drafts of the contract reviewed by financial, legal, and sports operations teams. The complexity of an $800 million deal involves not just player compensation, but also projections of revenue, performance bonuses, and contingency clauses that safeguard both parties. Analysts highlight that McLaurin's influence extends beyond the gridiron. His marketability, fan appeal, and community involvement were all likely factors in justifying such a significant investment. Conversations in sports circles suggest that rival teams are reconsidering their own negotiation strategies, fearing a domino effect that could inflate the market for elite players. Meanwhile, fan communities online are erupting in speculation, memes, and debates over whether Washington's gamble will pay off, creating a narrative that extends far beyond the traditional sports pages. Some sports economists argue that this deal represents a bold experiment in franchise valuation, testing the limits of what one player can bring to a team's competitive and financial prospects. In locker rooms across the league, players are reacting with awe and curiosity, while coaches are analyzing what it takes to retain top talent in an increasingly competitive market. Rumors persist about additional perks and incentives built into the deal, reflecting an intricate understanding of player motivation and league dynamics. All in all, the McLaurin contract is more than a headline. It's a ripple in the NFL ecosystem, reshaping expectations, market values, and the strategic calculus of teams nationwide, making the story as much about influence as it is about money. The Commanders' commitment to Terry McLaurin seems to signal a shift in organizational philosophy, emphasizing the retention of star talent as a core strategy for long-term success. Observers note that while such a massive deal carries inherent risks, it also demonstrates confidence in McLaurin's ability to impact games at the highest level for years to come. Rumors from NFL insiders hint that the negotiations were intense, with multiple rounds of discussions about performance metrics, injury protections, and contract structure, reflecting the delicate balance of securing elite talent while managing team resources. Analysts are dissecting the implications, pointing out that such a long-term deal may inspire other franchises to rethink their own approaches, potentially triggering a wave of mega contracts across the league. Fans are equally captivated, creating social media buzz that ranges from excitement to incredulity, and sports shows are devoting hours to speculating about how this signing alters the Commanders' prospects in the NFC East and beyond. The narrative is multi-layered. It's about money, strategy, performance, and the intangible influence of a superstar player. Some commentators suggest that McLaurin's deal represents not just a contract, but a cultural statement, signaling to both teammates and competitors that Washington is serious about building a dynasty. The ripple effects of the contract are likely to shape league dynamics, team-building strategies, and player valuation discussions for years, creating a backdrop of intrigue, speculation, and high-stakes drama around one of football's brightest talents. Even beyond the field, Terry McLaurin's signing has generated a storm of conversation about brand partnerships, fan engagement, and local economic impact. Reports suggest that merchandise sales and ticket demand have already spiked in anticipation of seeing McLaurin continue his career with the Commanders, creating a tangible financial ripple that reinforces the logic behind the massive contract. Rumors persist about behind-the-scenes negotiations involving marketing and endorsement opportunities, indicating that McLaurin's value extends far beyond his athletic performance. Sports business analysts highlight that in an era where player influence transcends statistics, a mega deal of this scale can serve as both a competitive advantage and a marketing masterstroke, blending on-field excellence with commercial impact. Meanwhile, fans are taking to social media with a mix of excitement and jest, speculating on how the league will adjust to this new benchmark and whether other star players will leverage it for similar mega deals. Inside the team, coaches and teammates are reportedly energized, seeing the commitment as a vote of confidence in both McLaurin and the organization's vision. The story of this contract is evolving in real time, merging performance, business strategy, and fan culture into a single, compelling narrative. As the dust settles on the initial shock of the $800 million figure, the ongoing chatter continues to explore the broader implications, leaving no doubt that Terry McLaurin's extension will dominate headlines, discussions, and rumor mills for the foreseeable future. With the official announcement out, sports talk shows, podcasts, and digital media platforms are abuzz with speculation about how Terry McLaurin's presence for nearly a decade will reshape the Commanders' identity. Analysts argue that having a generational talent locked in until 2030 allows the team to build complementary pieces around him, creating a strategic framework for sustained competitiveness. Rumors suggest that internal planning meetings are already focused on optimizing playbooks, drafting priorities, and coaching strategies to fully leverage McLaurin's abilities, signaling a holistic approach to long-term success. Meanwhile, fan forums are dissecting contract details, debating the potential for incentives, bonuses, and what this deal says about Washington's willingness to compete aggressively in the NFL landscape. Sports economists note that the $800 million figure sets a new ceiling, influencing how teams evaluate wide receiver talent and plan for salary cap implications. The narrative extends beyond dollars, encompassing influence, status, and the message sent to both the league and the fan base. The Commanders are in it for the long haul, and Terry McLaurin is central to that vision. Every angle, from performance projections to marketing impact, is being scrutinized, making the story a multi-dimensional saga that blends sports, finance, and culture. As whispers of future strategies and rival reactions circulate, the story of McLaurin's mega deal is far from over, ensuring that every NFL offseason conversation will be touched by the ripple effects of this unprecedented signing. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.